to OCB Natural Edge, you will see that we are -1 today. And Aubrey and I tell nothing but the truth. So the truth is, Sully is MIA right now. Don't know where he is. We've texted. We haven't heard back. So we have the login information.
Yes.
We have the password. We have the powers of recording.
And we have a search party out for him right now.
We do. Special forces are seeking Sully at this time. So if you know where he is, please let us know. All right, Aubrey, tell the natural bodybuilders of the world what today's episode is, please.
All right, Jody, this one's just for the ladies since we don't have Sully. It's all about girl talk. But even if you're a guy, still tune in because you're going to learn something. Today, we are talking about our top 5 pro tips that every natural female bodybuilder wishes that she knew sooner and wishes that I knew sooner. So today, we're going to spill the tea and we're going to be kicking things off actually with Jody's number 1.
Okay. My number 1 is the world is not competing with you. And, you know, honestly, this is a selfish sport. We have to prioritize our food. We prioritize our training. We prioritize our mindset and many, many, many other things, from ordering the bikini to the shoes to all the other odds and ends. And it is very difficult to remember sometimes that the world honestly doesn't care about your food. And I think this is, you know, one of 2 things. I have had clients, great discussions with clients about, oh, well, my spouse didn't go to the grocery store and get my food. Honey, I have got to tell you, that is your job. That is your job because your spouse didn't sign up for the show. But make no mistake, this is also very freeing because when you know that it's your job and it's your responsibility, it's also your joy when you have all of these successes. Yeah. And it will actually, I'm sure you have a story as well, Aubrey. I'll share one of mine. This really grounds me in moments where I'm like, oh, everybody else is not eating around me. We're at a restaurant. It's not time to eat dinner yet. That's a hard thing because your body is so physically hungry. And I really try to remember Kevin, my sweet Kevin, I call him, because he has the best resting bitch face in the world. So we laugh about it. He's a really nice guy. But, you know, Kevin's been a great sport with all of this. And I try to remember, Jody, Kevin didn't sign up for your meal plan. And that actually, I think, keeps our relationship really strong during prep moments. However, there was this one time. It was the first day of my peak week. We were in Erie, Pennsylvania, visiting family. We had been out doing biker things. We're on the shore in Erie, if you've ever been. And I had packed my food all day with me, but I planned a nice dinner out with my husband and my sister. Now, I brought my food because, again, when I'm 7 days out, we are not playing with macros. The wait was 45 minutes. Then it ended up getting extended a little longer. And I held out as long as I could. And the server said, would you like any appetizers? And no joke, my husband's like, oh yeah, we'd like some pretzel bites. And I slammed both hands on the table. I was like, are you serious right now?
I would love to see that moment. I would love to see you lose your cool. I didn't think it was possible.
I did because I had waited like 4.5 hours since my last meal and I was just done. So that was the one time I lost my cool, but I do try to remember my responsibility, my job. How about you, Aubrey?
Well, to dovetail off of that, it's like this. I've come up with a new phrase to my husband and I'll say, it's time to put baby to bed. That's like code. When I've you know, when you reach moments like that, where you're like, oh my gosh, my blood sugar levels I'm tanking, man. I don't have enough fuel in the tank, physically, mentally, emotionally, all these things. And you don't want to take it out on the ones who are supporting you. You really don't. That's not your intention. But, you know, we can allow our emotions to drive us in that moment. So now our code is like, I'm like, baby, we got to put baby to bed. Because at the end of the day, come 9 p.m., if baby doesn't go to bed, she's going to be crying and throwing a temper tantrum. Yeah. And that's not the person we want to show up as. So I think that the cool thing is to have a level of awareness, what you're doing. Competing is a privilege. It really is. Let's be real. You've elected to do this. And if you have a spouse that's supporting you, you are way ahead of most people. Oftentimes, a spouse can be really annoyed with what you've chose. And if it's bleeding in to your everyday life, then you're kind of pitting each other up against each other. So these are things that go with the territory, gang. But my last bit of advice on this, other than put baby to bed, is to do my favorite thing. And I call it the boop redo. So in that moment when it's like I'm flipping out and then suddenly you come to your senses, you just say, hey, babe, can I do a boop redo? And I'm sorry. And that's how we move on.
Everybody needs a mulligan once in a while, Aubrey.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, if that happens when you're training for the Yorton, I want to see footage of this. Like, do your eyes turn green and the smoke comes out? So
Kevin will be happy to provide, I'm sure.
All right. Awesome.
Right
Okay.
on.
So what do you got for the second one, Judy?
I have topic of post-show blues. What are they and how do we move through those?
All right.
Actually, how do we move through those successfully?
Oh, wow. Well, do you want me to start with this one?
Yeah.
Since I just did a show and the post-show blues, I think number one, it's to be aware of what they are. And what happens is that you have this crescendo. It's like the happiness pendulum, and you're leading up to this special date, like it's a wedding date or a race day. And as human beings, we're really good at finding joy in the journey because we're progressing. Suddenly we have the show, we have this amazing life experience, maybe for the first time. Doesn't matter if it's your first time or your 10th time. Afterwards, it's like, all right, that huge hit of dopamine and all the other feel-good hormones that have been released come crashing down, right? And it's a matter of like, sometimes we just have to honor that. And this is where you want to start to connect with your inner guidance system. So you want to plan to actually do, in my opinion, a little journal work after the post show. Do not go onto social media and just right away fire things off. You might have to like email yourself how you're feeling. You might have to, voice message a friend or your coach to say, these are the emotions that I'm working through. But you do want to plan ahead of time emotionally. That is my biggest thing. But the post-show blues are real. They're normal. They happen to, I think, pretty much everybody in some way, shape, or form to some varying degree. So plan more from the mindset standpoint that even if you think that you're a fortress and it's not going to happen to you this time, I promise you, if you don't have that next goal in mind, there is going to be a crash. So Jody, I know you have some thoughts on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're so right, Aubrey. I mean, the thrill really is in the chase. We take progress photos, we look at ourselves in the mirror, we see new veins. That's a thrill, right? And we get leaner and leaner throughout the process. And the crescendo then culminates in the stage day. And after that, there's a sense of loss. But it's really the conundrum is it's really not appropriate to think about that next goal the day before you go on stage. You're just so consumed with getting to the stage. I would actually suggest rewinding. Maybe go 6, 8 weeks, 10 weeks pre-show. Sit down and really look into the future. Maybe you want to set a goal of having a photo shoot, which I think you do, Aubrey. You have a photo shoot coming up. So a photo shoot as, the next thing. But just, a month or 2 or 3 out, really plan ahead. What else am I looking forward to? What am I not engaging in right now that I really look forward to engaging in after the show? Time and events with family. My husband and I love to go to a specific winery. And while I can't go and drink my face off because I would be really physically punished if I did that, it's nice to go and enjoy a couple of glasses of wine a week or 2 post show, go on a vacation when I'm still feeling relatively lean, right? Just something else to plan, just to, soak in life's joys. There is so much more to the stage. And I'm pretty sure most people can identify what's missing in prep. So that's a great thing to put on your list.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that focal point, I think that we could, have a lot of little offshoots of this very topic. But one thing that gave me a lot of clarity this last show was, I've spent weeks and weeks and weeks focused on this show. And then you wake up the next day, right? The post-show
Mhm.
blues. If you start to switch your mindset, everybody, into a state of gratitude, or how can I show up differently or better for someone else? So my mantra post show, it's been less than 7 days, to say, how can I show up today and make my husband's day better? How can I show up today and make my son's day better? And that gives me that fresh perspective to get my head out of my butt, to be like, all right, now I can shift. Your body's not going away. Those moments aren't going away. It's just a matter of like, okay, maybe that fitness takes a close second to, your relationships, and start to really pour that attention there, because you can't be grateful and sad at the same time. I don't think
Oh,
it's possible.
truer words were never spoken. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Being present, not just for yourself, or excuse me, not just for others, but yourself. When
Yeah.
you're present, you can't also worry about the past and the future. You just focus on the moment that's right in front of you,
Yes.
and we're really, really grateful. I know that
Mhm.
something, I have such gratitude for. I left the gym yesterday, and this just really came over me, like, I'm just so grateful I was able to get in a great workout today.
Oh
And
yeah.
those don't hit me every time, but
Yeah.
gosh, when
Yeah.
they do, it is a real blessing
Oh
to
yeah.
be whatever
Yes.
age and have your body allow you to do so many things.
It really is. It is a gift. It is a
It
gift.
is.
And since we are just wise beyond measure, I mean,
Right.
we're right. So. Okay, so we are going to move on to our third pro tip that every natty bodybuilder needs to know, is your post-show food protocol. And you got to have a system in place. My number one tip on this is to actually have some of your meals that you typically would have. I call them your staples, right? Have those in your freezer for when you get home from your show, that you can still have some easy protein sources to throw in your air fryer, to heat up on the stove, whatever, that like, all right, my body can handle this still right now. My stomach is shrunk to that size of, a pea. I know that these portion sizes are going to make me feel not overly full. You'll feel like Goldilocks. It's not too much. It's just right. So that has been very helpful for me. If I am traveling for a show like this past one, I actually bring extra food that I freeze, and it would be like my normal regular food, my staples, because I am going to be extra hungry. So even if you think that you're not going to eat that regular food, you might want to think again. Put it on ice and put it in your hotel fridge, because if you're driving back home or flying, it is going to come into handy as you are starting to re-regulate your body after your big event.
Absolutely. I'll tell you, my favorite foods to take with me are the ones that I have pulled from my prep maybe 4 to 6 weeks prior to show.
Oh
Things
yeah.
like Greek yogurt and overnight oats.
Mm.
Not everybody does dairy. I get that. I'm very lucky that my body tolerates it, but it is something that I pull 4 to 6 weeks before the show. So,
Mm-hmm.
number one, it's something I really enjoy because
Mm-hmm.
I've missed it for 4 to 6 weeks. Number two, to Aubrey's point, something I know that I can pretty easily digest.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe if we're talking to about 99.9995% of female competitors, most of us have a post show treat. One meal, typically not super damaging. But if you continue with that pattern the next
Mm-hmm.
2, 3, 5, 10 days, your
Okay.
stomach's not going to be so happy. So,
Mm-hmm.
very correct. Your body will likely thank you.
The cool thing is, with this type of a protocol, it just has to be simple. Keep it simple to succeed. I don't like to say keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple to succeed. And with that simplicity that you just mentioned, it's like, oh, hello, old friend. That's just some Greek yogurt. And you appreciate it even more. You start to really like, oh, wow, this is amazing. Mine is a Fuji apple. and some Turkish figs. Jody got to know me very well this last show, and she's like, okay, well, let's put those in. And it was, even if I probably ate more than, I ate more than the serving, let's say, size afterwards, it felt so nourishing for me. It felt so good. And honestly, that is the sugar that I crave the most, is from, not that I cut fruit out of my diet, but just to have that little bit more fruit back in, you can just taste the sweetness even more distinctly. It's so good.
So true. Oh my gosh, so true. Well, and I've said this in a previous episode, post show, it can feel like Candyland. So it's very easy to
Yes.
want all of the things at once. And like I tell my clients, you can have it all, you just can't have it all at once. We've got to
Yeah.
pace ourselves.
Yeah.
So to just kind of bring some logic into the equation, it
Mhm.
is a good thing.
Well,
Is a
and
good thing.
I don't know if it's sometimes a rite of passage too. I mean, when I first started to compete, I mean, my post show blues, my post show protocol has gotten better and more refined.
Mhm.
And there might have been a version of me that have been like, really, you just want an apple, right? Don't you want like some chocolate or pizza or something like that? And what you learn along the way is like, those things, like you said, they're not going anywhere. I don't necessarily need them in that moment. We'll slowly start to integrate them back in. So it's so important to allow yourself to just take that breath, take that time, and develop your protocol for afterwards.
Definitely. Definitely. Number 4, no one prepares you for tanning mishaps. I mean, this is, tips that we wish that we would have known sooner. But one
Yes.
thing that I did not learn initially is you're not supposed to wear deodorant once you get your spray tan.
Hmm.
And just, I mean, gosh, I've been doing shows for long enough that the original ones that I had early on were so stinky. And I feel like that's come a long way. What do you
Yeah.
think, Aubrey? Has that
Do
improved
you
for
mean that
you?
the tan was stinky?
Yeah, the tan smelled to begin with.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I have tried every tanner under the sun. I used to tan myself when I first started to compete. And I'm going to tell you the secret about me that you're going to think differently of me after I tell you.
Really?
Not even under the polygraph. I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
I don't wear deodorant ever.
You're fortunate.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We all drink a lot of
Yeah.
water. You might not stink. You just might think that you stink, Jody. But
Oh.
what I'll do, like I wear lots of tank tops, or I'll take like there's
Mhm.
these baby water wipes and I'll just like wipe down my armpits and stuff. So I'm not a deodorant person. So
Okay.
I know that that's a big deal for people. But if you get used to it, yeah. And there's definitely some spicy folks that are back there backstage. No judgment. It's just,
Right.
it is what it is. But the tanner itself, I use like a prep product through a company called Jantana. She's been around
Mhm.
forever, and I really
Yes.
like her products. So that smells nice, but then when the tanner sits on you overnight, it does. It's kind of like you smell kind of like metal. I don't know. I feel
It's
like there's a
so bad. It's so bad, but that's not even, I mean, that's important. And that's like something that really kind of shocks me into competition
Mhm.
life, right? Like, oh, I'm
Gotcha.
tanning with this industrial brown paint. Like this is serious business. But I'll
No.
tell you what surprised me, and I believe this was from Marianne Franco years ago, that if you sleep in a humid room, your tan is that much more likely to turn green. So
Mm,
it can
got
be
you.
really tempting when we're at our leanest to put all the layers on, but then if you sweat and then you
Yeah.
have that humid room,
Oh, yeah.
that's when the tan starts to turn colors you don't want it to turn. So,
Yes, it does. Now, Giantana
mhm.
does have a product. It's called Green Away. Have you ever used it?
Never did not know
Yeah.
this existed.
Okay. So if you go on her website, and it's, I don't have an affiliate link. This is just
Uh,
something that I've used. This is old school.
yeah.
But I recommend everyone get this. It's a like clear solution, and that's what I spray on my armpits. It's called Green Away. You
Mhm.
just spray it before you go get your tan. You can
Okay.
even do a light spray if you feel like you are super green, but I always just do a light spray before I go get my tan. You can also lightly spray around your lady town, like not the
Mhm.
front, but like the back where you're like your P's. can.
Yep.
We'll talk about pee stuff. But anyway,
Yep.
yeah. So hopefully that helps somebody out there.
It does. I've usually just used dryer sheets in between when I can't
Dryer
wear
sheets, yeah.
deodorant, but I
And
don't
I
know
see
that
like
those would help with the
they
green.
use baby powder too as an option.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Dryer
tricks of the
sheets. Okay.
trade.
All right.
Tricks of the
We like
trade.
it.
I
Yeah.
believe we are ready for our fifth tip. Take us away, Aubrey.
Okay. So our fifth tip, we're going to talk about makeup. Dink. All right. And makeup is a big deal. Now, Jody, I know that you have a cheerleading background. I
Mhm.
have a dance background.
Mhm.
So, given that, we kind of like grew up with that culture of like bold lips, big eyes. And that was, even though we would look very alarming if we would go out in public, because sometimes you didn't want to
Sure.
be seen in public looking like that. On the stage, it really translated well. At this last show, I got to meet a figure pro. She was also tanning me, and her name is Jackie McCrae. Yeah,
Nice.
Magnum's wife, right?
She's
And
awesome.
her and I were talking about this. We shared the same opinion. If you don't look borderline drag queen with your makeup, it's not dark enough. And some people are like, no, I don't believe you. Oh, yeah, when you get your pictures back, you're going to be like, well, I thought I had lipstick on, but it looks like I'm like this, and I don't have any lips.
No
And,
lips.
you, again, when I say borderline drag queen, I mean, come on, because you got the big hair, or
Mhm.
what, your hair's larger than life than it normally is, right? Even if
Right.
you have short hair, there's something more bold about it. You got the
Mhm.
big muscles, you got this super dark tan already. Man, you just got to go all in and get your face. All right. And typically, where people go wrong is that their lips are not dark enough
Correct.
and that their face is actually too light. Do you see
Yes.
that a lot?
Oh my gosh. I first became aware of that when Matt Shepley was taking show photos. He used to do photography for the shows. Matt did it
Oh,
all,
okay.
obviously, but he pointed it out to me. And I was so grateful because who's going to tell you that?
Yeah.
Who's going to tell you that? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who will tell you that? The
Hmm.
people on social media who know nothing about the sport. And they'll be like, why is your face so white? What are you doing? I don't understand what's happening. So my tip
True.
for that is,
Mhm.
gals, you always got to pack your bronzer. Even if you
Yep.
don't get a light spray tan across your face, that's okay, because some people like it, some people
Mhm.
don't. You
Mhm.
also your face just needs to be 2 shades lighter than your body. That's it. It does,
Right.
like, so you should, when people say to me, when they see me in real life, they're like, oh, you look so different. I'm like, yeah, I know. Because I got my tanner on, I got my drag queen makeup on, I better not look the same.
You
So it
should.
turns out great in photographs, and Jody and I can flash some photographs too to prove it to you.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. I can echo what you said. My makeup has come a long way, even though I did cheerleading and community theater as well.
Oh,
But I do give that feedback as a judge. If I see an athlete without lipstick, I mean, it's not the first thing I notice, but it deserves mention because you put so much work into the head to toe package. Don't
yes,
forget
you're
that
paying for
detail.
the photographs, you're paying for the video. That's the thing. Just complete the look. It's an easy box to check.
For sure. So dream those drag queen dreams.
RuPaul style. All right.
You got it. We have one final tip. This is the tip that most people will not talk about. And Aubrey, this was your idea. I
It
love that we're
was. It
covering
was. And
this.
I'm about to school the PhD diva here. I'm excited about that. These are
Yeah.
life skills that you could be putting on your LinkedIn resume, Jody. Here we go. And it's a hyphenated word. She, we. All right. Now, Jody was like, Aubrey, what's a she, we? So before we kicked things off, I said, oh, they call it a female urinal. And she's like, okay, I got what you mean, but you haven't had success with those. And
Right.
I've had clients that are like, oh, you need to practice with the Shiwi. So,
Mhm.
Jody, I know you like to have homework because you're very good at just acing every test. So we're going to task Jody with a homework assignment. She is going to practice using her Shiwi. And so when she goes to the Yorton, that she has no tanning mishaps, because when I go to get retouched up, they're like, wow, your tan looks so good. I was like, I know, I got the Shiwi, I got my green away. So do you want me to tell you exactly how to use it?
Yes,
Oh,
because I've
perfect.
only ever known these as pea cups, and then I'll tell you my backwards way of
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
but I
you have
tried,
okay.
and
The
yeah,
reason
why
why
I'm
I
so
like the
scared.
Shiwi is because I have done the funnel system back in the before
Mhm,
this product was invented. I should have invented the
mhm.
Shiwi. What was I doing? But it's like a silicone funnel that is, an extension, just like a man would have. Hello.
Right. Right.
And we'll pop an image up here for you guys to see it. Not me using it, of course, just the image. But the really, I just never could shoot straight, right? And I would always have, unfortunately, streaks from Pete. And it's so
Flash.
not sexy, right? This is like
Yeah.
the most unattractive thing ever. I remember the first year I competed and I tried to use the funnel, peed down my leg, and I looked up at the sky like this. I go, if there's aliens watching me right now, don't abduct me. I'm so humiliated and vulnerable. Like it was like this most humiliating
Aw.
experience where you're like, I'm covered in tanner and I'm naked and I got pee running down my leg. What? You're like, what's happening to me? So here comes the Shiwi. What you guys need to do, you do need to practice with it. And gals, you're going to have to do a sissy squat over your toilet. Got to do a sissy
Okay.
squat. Get
Noted.
low, low, low. And even if as you're practicing, put just a little bit of like a toilet paper nest in there. Like don't use all the toilet paper, a little nest so there's no splashing.
Mhm.
You got your sissy squat. Hold it against you to suction, and don't let all of your urine out at once. You got to go like, yeah, I know, in increments, because the funnel will fill up, and that's where a lot of people go wrong. It's like, oh my gosh, no, just pace yourself,
Okay.
and have toilet paper ready to then clean up whatever you need. So I hope that image, that
Yes.
little story that I told you resonates and makes sense.
That makes so much more sense because back in the day, I was told to cut a hole out of a paper cup
Yeah.
and use the paper cup. But here's the problem, and this is why I've never tried any product similar to this, is because of this horror experience that I had the first time. I cut a teeny hole in the paper cup, which is not the thing to do.
You underestimated yourself, didn't you?
You can guess the rest. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
haven't mastered it.
Another wonderful rite of passage, all the non-sexy things behind the scenes, but when we show up that day, we look like a Cinderella in heels or a PH diva. And you know what? It always makes for a good story to tell.
You got it. You got it. Thanks for the tips today, Aubrey. It has been a
You
joy.
too.
I can't wait for Sully's feedback on this episode.
Oh my gosh, it's going to be so good. So we miss you, Sully. We will definitely tune in next time. Make sure, gang, that you leave us some comments below. Were these top 5 pro tips helpful? And I bet there's people out there that they have their own pro tips. So we'd love
That's right.
to add to the list. As always, like and subscribe. Catch us on the next episode, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Natural Edge. Bye, everybody.
See ya.